Soft, eerie lullaby begins playing. Faint children's laughter echoes in the background, gradually fading into silence. Have you ever stared into the glossy eyes of a doll and felt that strange, crawling sense that something on the other side of that painted smile was looking back at you? That its silence wasn't empty, that behind the glassy stare, something ancient was watching, waiting, pretending to be harmless. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere between the beautiful and the terrifying, where innocence meets horror and beauty hides something far more dangerous than we dare imagine. This is Barbie, the haunted doll horror stories. A journey through fear, through lessons carved in shivers, through dolls that once smiled but now whisper. But beyond the terror, there are lessons, truths about life, trust, pain, and strength. Because every haunting, every shadow, every scream in the night can become a story of light. They say that beauty comforts us, that it makes us feel safe. But what if beauty is just a disguise, a way for darkness to hide in plain sight? That is the first lesson hidden in tonight's horror. The most terrifying things often were the prettiest faces. There was once a woman named Melissa who lived in a quiet town in Texas. She was the kind of mother who always searched thrift stores for old toys and furniture she could restore. One morning, she found a Barbie doll sitting on a shelf, almost glowing in the dim light. Its hair was silky gold, its blue eyes unblinking, and its pink dress was spotless, as though it had never been touched. The tag read, $3. Melissa smiled, thinking it would be a perfect gift for her 6-year-old daughter, Ava. Ava loved it instantly. She called her new doll Lila. For a while, it seemed harmless, just another toy. But then the nights changed. Melissa began to hear footsteps in the Hawaii light, rhythmic steps that didn't belong to anyone awake. Sometimes she heard faint laughter coming from Ava's room, soft, girlish giggles that made her heart sink. When she checked, Ava was asleep. One morning, the Barbie sat on the kitchen counter, turned toward the family portrait, its head slightly tilted. Another day, Melissa found tiny pink footprints across the white tiles leading to her daughter's bedroom. It all came to a breaking point when Ava woke up screaming. Melissa ran into her room, finding her daughter trembling beneath the bed. "What happened, baby?" she cried, pulling her close. Ava's voice was shaking, almost broken. "Lila was whispering to me," she said. "She told me she doesn't like you." That night, Melissa threw the doll into the trash. She drove it far away, down a dark road, and left it near a dumpster. But even after it was gone, strange things continued. The sound of those little footsteps, the faint click of plastic fingers tapping the dresser, and sometimes the sound of a tiny, childlike giggle in the dark. That story, as chilling as it is, hides something deeply human. We often trust what looks good. We think that something beautiful must also be kind. But beauty can deceive. Sometimes the most toxic things wear smiles. The most dangerous people wear charm like a costume. The most harmful memories feel comforting, only because we've known them too long. It's not weakness to be deceived, it's human. But the strength comes when you see through it, when you learn that real beauty is truth, not appearance, that what glitters can rot inside, that love, if it's real, never whispers against your peace. And maybe that's what the haunted Barbie represents. Not just an evil spirit trapped in plastic, but the haunting of illusion itself, of trusting the false, of fearing the real. The scariest stories aren't about the ghosts in the dolls. They're about the blindness we fight within ourselves. Some years ago, in Mexico City, a family owned an antique doll that had been in the family for generations. They said it was blessed, that it protected their home. But over time, strange things happened. Every pet they brought into the house, dogs, cats, even birds, died mysteriously within weeks. The grandmother refused to get rid of the doll, insisting it was good luck. Then one night, lightning struck the roof. The house caught fire. By the time the flames were out, everything was destroyed except for the doll. It sat untouched in the ashes, its porcelain face cracked into a wide smile. The family finally buried it in a churchyard, praying it would never return. But neighbors say that sometimes, on stormy nights, they can still hear faint laughter from beneath the soil. It's strange how much this story mirrors our own lives. We hold on to things that destroy us: relationships, memories, guilt, thinking they're protecting us. We cling to pain because it's familiar. We keep cursed things close because we fear the emptiness that might come if we let them go. But not everything beautiful deserves to be kept. Sometimes the bravest act is not holding on, it's letting go. Then there's the story of the little girl in England. Back in 1995, she was lonely, often left alone while her parents worked late. She had a Barbie doll she talked to for comfort. At first, the doll's voice was in her imagina friend she made from her loneliness. But soon, she began to hear it respond. Softly at first, then louder. "Play with me," it would say. "Don't talk to anyone else." The more she listened, the more real it became. The more she talked back, the more the voice changed from playful to cold. One day, she stopped speaking to her classmates. The teachers grew worried. When they checked her home, they found her sitting in the corner of her room, whispering to the doll. "She doesn't like it when I talk to others," she said. Fear grows where attention flows. Whatever we feed becomes real in our world. The more energy you give your fears, your regrets, your guilt, the more they take shape. But if you turn that same attention toward light, love, prayer, peace, the darkness fades. Energy follows attention. The haunted doll in your life could be a fear you've been feeding without realizing it. And maybe the key isn't to fight it but to stop giving it power. In another story, construction workers demolishing an old orphanage in the Midwest found a buried Barbie doll sealed in a rusted tin box. It had been underground for over 50 years. They joked about it and took it to a nearby diner. That night, the man who brought it home dreamed of a child crying in a corner, whispering, "Don't forget me." He woke up with tears on his face. The next night, the same dream. The next, even clearer, the crying girl, now standing at the foot of his bed. When he finally returned the doll to the orphanage site and said a prayer, the dreams stopped. That story carries pain but also truth. We all bury things that once hurt us, memories we never heal, trauma we never face. But the past doesn't die just because you hide it. It waits, buried like that doll, until the moment you're strong enough to unearth it. Healing isn't forgetting it, releasing the ghost from its box. It's finally letting your heart breathe again. Faith, too, plays a powerful role in the world of the haunted. There's a tale of a doll collector who owned dozens of dolls rumored to be possessed. He blessed every one of them, except a single Barbie with a cracked face. He said, "It's just plastic." But soon, he started dreaming of her standing at the foot of his bed, whispering his name. Every night, the crack grew deeper. One day, he finally placed his hands over it and prayed. The next morning, the crack had stopped spreading and he never dreamed of it again. Faith doesn't always silence the darkness, but it gives us light strong enough to walk through it. Loneliness is another doorway for shadows. In Japan, a girl named Nori lived alone after her parents' divorce. Her only comfort was her Barbie doll. She spoke to it every night, telling it secrets she told no one else. But soon, she noticed it moving slightly closer each morning. Sometimes, when she paused, the doll seemed to be finishing her sentences. Nori began to pull away from her friends, her school, her world. One night, she woke up and found the doll sitting on her chest, staring into her eyes. She screamed and threw it into the trash. The next morning, she sat in silence, but for the first time in months, the silence felt peaceful. She realized she had filled the emptiness with a shadow and that it was time to fill it with light. Isolation can twist into something sinister. The longer we stay in our darkness, the louder it whispers. That's why connection is sacred. A phone call, a prayer, a conversation, these are lights that chase away the shadows that try to claim us. There is a story from an old church in Ireland about a girl haunted by a doll that followed her wherever she went. The priest didn't burn it or bless it, he told her to confront it. "Tell it, it has no power here," he said. That night, she placed the doll on her dresser, stared into its eyes, and whispered, "You don't control me." The next morning, its eyes were closed and never opened again. When you name your fear, you take its power back. The moment you face what haunts you, it loses the right to chase you. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the quiet voice that says, I will not run. And maybe that's what all these haunted Barbie stories mean in the end. That darkness, no matter how terrifying, never lasts. After every scream, there's silence. After every haunting, a sunrise. The doll's eyes close. The house grows still. The air becomes warm again. The scariest nights always end with light. Horror reminds us of something beautiful. Darkness doesn't win, it just teaches us. Every haunting leaves behind a lesson in survival. Every night ends in dawn. So if tonight's story sent a shiver down your spine, remember this. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a teacher. Every cursed doll, every whisper, every flicker of shadow only has power if we give it our belief. The moment you remember who you are, a being of light, of strength, of faith, the shadows lose interest. Soft music begins again. Gentle piano under a fading heartbeat. And tonight, as you lay your head down, with the echo of these stories lingering in your mind, let's end with a prayer, one that protects, comforts, and reminds you that no matter what watches from the dark, you are not alone. May my heart remain pure even when shadows whisper. May I see truth beyond beauty and light beyond fear. May no evil dwell in the home where love stays. May I walk with courage, and may faith be my shield. For no darkness can haunt what belongs to the light. You are safe. You are strong. And even in a world of haunted dolls and whispered fears, your soul will always shine brighter than anything that tries to dim it.